It's all the same, like some things never change. I couldn't stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take the blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save her now. Oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. It's all the same, like some things never change. I couldn't stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take the blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save her now. Oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. It's all the same, like some things never change. I couldn't stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take the blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save her now. Oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. Oh my, never changed. I couldn't stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take the blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save and oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. Oh my, you're my broken love. Oh my, you're my broken love. It's all the same, but some things never change. I couldn't stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take the blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save and oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. It's all the same, but some things never change. I couldn't stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take the blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save and oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save her now. Oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. Oh my, you're my broken love. Oh my, you're my broken love. It's all the same, like some things never change. I couldn't stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save her now. Oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. It's all the same, like some things never change. I couldn't stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save her now. Oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. some things never change. I couldn't stop and say no. It's all the same, but you won't take the blame, even when you are blowing up. Oh my, you're my broken love. Nobody's gonna save her now. Oh my, you're my broken love. So come on, let me show you how. Oh my, you're my broken love. Oh my, you're my broken love.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the online press conference for Viva's newest angel, Kelsey Merritt. But before we start our press conference, allow me to acknowledge the presence of our friends from the press, Philippine Daily Inquirer, ABS-CBN.com, Push, CineHub, Cosmopolitan, Preview, Esquire, Mega Magazine, Metro Magazine, Pep, Rappler, and TV Patrol. Welcome, everyone. Hi, guys. All right, let's not delay this further. She is the pride of the Philippines when it comes to modeling. After appearing in several commercials in the Philippines, this 23-year-old Phil-Am model took her talents to the international stage when she moved to New York after her graduation in Ateneo, Manila in 2017. And of course, she was also a PMAP member. In the US, she made history as the first Filipino to ever walk down the Victoria's Secret runway in 2018. First and only Filipina. The next year, she again made history, becoming the first Pinoy model to be featured in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. And it's super sexy. I saw it. Her IG stories, wow. Oh my gosh. Kelsey, you're so sexy. Anyway, these two achievements opened a lot of opportunities for this world class talent, as she now often appears in many international known magazines, such as Harper's Bazaar, American Vogue, and Elle, and a lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Viva's newest angel, Miss Kelsey Merritt.
Hi, fam.
Hi,
How
Kelsey!
are you?
How are you?
I'm so good. I haven't seen you in so long.
No, like here. So you're now based in LA, right? Or oh,
Yes. Yes.
back
LA
in
New
LA,
York.
New York. I'm so proud of you, Kelsey. You're like my baby.
Yeah. I know. I knew you
Maybe
were so young pa.
diba? Of course, oh my God, we are all proud of you. But of course, now we have our friends from the press, and we will start the question and answer with the members of the press. So who will start now? Okay. Anyways, this will always also be live on Facebook and YouTube. All right. While waiting for them, make us kwento, Kelsey. We saw you're now part of Viva family.
Yes, I'm so happy. So many of my friends are with Viva, and then when I signed with them, everyone was just so welcoming. So happy to be with you guys.
Magpapalanday.
Oh my God, I really want to visit you.
Pero
I want
dito
to see
tayo.
your apartment in New York is so nice. I want to see it.
Yeah, it's the best. I love Tribeca, and I was so lucky to get a really good apartment.
And how
I love.
about how was your quarantine life? Sorry, like to ask about it.
I know. I feel like we're all on the same page, no? Like, since March.
Yeah.
I haven't really left the house. This month has been better. LA, like now the restaurants are back open and we
Yeah.
can dine in, and I
Yes.
feel like in Manila you can also dine in, no, or not yet?
Yeah.
You
But we're
can.
of course practicing social distancing
Yeah,
and staying
masks.
safe and wearing a mask. And
Yeah,
of
for
course, it has to be a designer mask.
sure. For sure.
Okay, so we can start the question and answer. Who will go first? Okay, who will go first? All right, sorry, Kelsey. Make me cuento first. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm really, really proud of you.
You.
Yeah,
How about you? How are you? We haven't spoken in so long. It's been
I follow you
like
on IG, of
years.
course.
Yeah.
Your Sports Illustrated photo shoot is my one of my favorite. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
How many have you done for SI?
So I did 2019 and then I shot for 2020 in February. So like a few months ago. It was actually supposed to be released in May, but I think they're just delaying it because of COVID.
Oh,
So we're just waiting till they launch the next issue.
oh my
That's
god.
on two.
Been living my dream. I wanted to do that before, but of course. Anyway, so now MJ Felipe will be joining us to the first question is going to be MJ Felipe. Hi MJ.
Hello.
Hi, fam. I miss
Hi.
you.
Hi there, MJ. Of course, here's Kelsey. Kelsey, MJ.
Hi. So nice to meet
So
you.
go ahead, MJ. Is MJ going first?
Hi, Kelsey. Nice to missions on inking this management contract. Can you share with us with Viva what the contract is about?
So they are my new management. They're my representation in the Philippines. It's all like it's not gonna be acting, so it's mostly like the increase I have for endorsements. So it's all like stuff that was doing before. So yeah, that they're just gonna be my representation in the Philippines.
So right now, it's just purely modeling or endorsements for the Philippines.
Yes, exactly.
You're not ready yet to do full-time show business here.
Well, I live in, I live in America, and my work is mainly here. I do still have family and friends in the Philippines, and I still want to be like very in touch with my home country. So I want to go home more, and I feel like this is a good way to go home more and see like my friends and family more. Um, yeah, so not yet. I maybe in the future. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, quick facts. Is your mom or the dad the Filipino or the Filipina?
My mom is Filipina, my dad's American.
And she's from where?
My mom is from Cagayan Valley, so she's Ilocana. But we live in Pampanga. They live in Pampanga.
Do you remember the last time you were here, or have you been here?
Yeah, I was just there in Christmas. So I was just there in December, a few months ago, before quarantine hit. So yeah, I would love to go home soon though, when it's safe to do.
You're born and raised in New York, is that right?
No, I was born and raised in Pampanga, where my parents still live in the same house we still live in. Yeah, and I actually didn't move to New York till I was 20, after I graduated college in Ateneo.
Right. And here you are waving the Philippine flag in all corners of New York City. For my last question before I throw it back to Fem, what's the greatest learning that you carry with you? Because I know that opportunities don't usually land on some of the Filipinos who have tried to work abroad, especially there in Hollywood or in New York City. So what's that greatest learning that you can probably give, or an advice that you can probably share?
Well, I feel like, um, like before I started doing this in New York, there was only like a handful of Filipino models. And I didn't really see Filipino models in New York. So it kind of like it made me, it was a big hindrance to me thinking if I would be able to make it or not. So to able, being able to walk the Via show and being able to shoot for Sports Illustrated, I feel like gives way to more Filipino girls to be able to say, "Hey, I can do that too." Whereas before, there was no one before me who I could look up to and say I could be the next. So yeah, I feel like barriers have been broken, and it's just been nice to give way and pave way to more Filipinas to be able to model in New York, because we definitely
That's what,
need.
and that's what you did. Congratulations, Kelsey, and we hope to see you
Thank
here in Manila
you.
soon.
Thank you. It's so nice to meet you.
Back to you,
Thank you
fam.
very much. Yeah, thank you, MJ. Sorry to cut you. Thank you, MJ. So now we have Maura Rodriguez of Preview.
Mara.
Hey, Kelsey. Hello. You
How
haven't
are you?
How are you?
Good.
I
It's
still,
been so
I still,
long.
I know. I still remember your first editorial for Preview. I think you were still in college then.
Yeah, it was the one with
It was,
Dante, the red hair one.
I think so. Yeah, it was that one. I think Belle was the one who still worked on
Yeah,
that.
Belle. It was a beautiful.
Yeah. It was Belle. So,
Yeah.
I still remember. You were
Yeah.
so young. I think you were 18 or something.
Yeah, and my
Yeah,
hair
you're
was
still
red.
young.
I had to color my hair red for that shoot.
Yeah, for that specific shoot. Okay, just a few questions, mainly about modeling and your experience there in the US.
Yeah.
So, what are the 5 things you learned about modeling that you took away from modeling in the United States or in America? Because you've also worked here as a model, so I bet there's so many things that are kind of different. So, what are the 5 things that you learned?
That are different. I feel like in the modeling industry, or like anything.
Yeah, I think in the modeling industry, in general.
That everyone is so nice. I feel like people have this notion
Okay.
that everyone's like a diva and people hate each other, but actually like everyone is so nice and so supportive. And yeah, the stereotype that everyone's like devil wears Prada is not real. And I don't know if I can name 5, but I'll try my best.
Okay.
Just like grinding is really important in New York. It's not an easy city. It's not an easy industry. It's not an easy job. And there are millions of girls who literally fly to New York, and you're, competing with the most beautiful women from all over the world going to one city to try and make it. So one way you can really like make yourself stand out is to work harder, because if you don't work hard, someone else will work harder than you and get it, and make it. So really like grinding, because it's nothing just lands on your lap. You have to work for it. And I think that's like one of the main thing that I've really taken away. Like I didn't just get the show because the Via show, like it didn't just land on my lap. I literally had to like work and practice and work hard.
Do you have any advice for aspiring models who want to make it there in the US as well?
Yeah, I feel like that one was a really good one. Just like never stop and like dream big. I feel like I come from this small town in Pampanga, Angeles City, and I
Mhm.
didn't really know about New York or modeling. I remember the first time I found out about modeling. I was like, "What? There's modeling in the Philippines?" I was like 13 or 14, and then when I found out there was the world outside of my city that I could dream so big.
Mhm.
That I feel like just dreaming big and like saying it into existence really helps. So yeah, just like you never know where life will take you, and so just dream crazy.
Okay. My next question is about body positivity. So, since you're a model, it's part of your job to look good. So, you exercise, you take care of your body, and all of that.
Yeah,
But there are a lot of girls who sort of want that, and it can be, let's say, toxic or whatever. But
yeah,
what can you say about, what words can you give to girls who are pressured to look a certain way? And what
yeah.
would you say to girls to be more body positive? Because you did
Positive.
post that photo before of you having stretch marks, and that
Yeah.
really made everybody super happy.
Yeah, so I feel like as a model and as like a figure that people look up to, I sort of have a responsibility to um, show people that I'm real, that I'm also human, and I have the same things that they have, and the stretch marks that they have are naturally occurring in a human body. It's not something to be looked down upon, or not something you should like try and get rid of. Like everyone has it, and I feel like if I have it, I can't. It seems crazy to me to edit my photos to make me look perfect because I'm not. And I feel like that I see that in other people, and I don't want other people to feel that way through my photos. So I try to be as authentic as I can, in any way that I can. And the responsibility that I have as a figure, it just comes
Mhm.
with it. Yeah.
Okay. Just one last question. Oh wait, can you talk about, since now everything is sort of on halt and it's
Mhm.
so hard to do photo shoots now. So how do you think the fashion or modeling industry would change because of
I feel like I asked my agency
it?
a lot.
Are you
uh,
experiencing any of those changes now?
Yes. So I feel like a lot of it is still unknown because things still haven't gone back to normal, and we're all just sort of like feeling things out. But I have done a few shoots in the past weeks, and everyone like just kept their 6 feet distance. 6 feet, yeah,
Mm.
it's like 6 feet apart. Everyone wore masks, so I feel like that's going to be the new normal, like makeup artists would be wearing those face shields. And I think that's still pretty safe, as long as everyone follows the same protocols. But I feel like traveling won't be the same. Like people will be hiring locally, whereas before I would fly to a new city every 3 days, literally on a different plane on the every third day.
Mhm.
That probably won't happen anymore or anytime soon. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, last question. Sorry, last question. Just one last. Oh, hello. Oh, can I ask just one last?
All right,
Yes.
One
go
last
ahead, go
question.
ahead, go ahead.
How has social media helped your career in modeling? So you have TikTok, you have Instagram. Like, how has that helped you?
I feel like with modeling, it's not just like your portfolio that people look at anymore. Your social media has become your portfolio, and nowadays like clients don't just want to see um like they want to see personality behind the face, and they want to see a voice behind the face. Social media has been amazing because I get to show that part of me that they normally wouldn't see on my portfolio. So in a way, like I curate my Instagram or my social media, um, where I get to show myself in my most authentic way. So, yeah.
Mhm. Thank you, Kelsey. Thanks,
Oh, all
guys.
right, thank you, Mara.
Nice to see
Review.
you.
Thank you very much. All right, now we have Grace from Metro Dot Style. Hi, Grace.
Hi, Kelsey.
Hi,
Can you hear
Grace.
me?
How are you?
Hi. Good afternoon. Wait, sorry. Congratulations on being part of Viva.
Thank you. I'm so
I miss you
excited.
here in the Philippines.
I know
So
I'm
my,
like, I want to go home.
so my question is more on the quarantine life in Los Angeles. How exactly has it been like living there under quarantine? Are there things that you discovered about yourself during this time?
So it's been really quiet. I haven't really seen a lot of people since quarantine started, and I haven't been traveling at all. Um, and then um, things that I've discovered about myself, like I was cooking and baking so much. I literally was not doing anything that I would wake up every day, and my purpose for that day was to cook and bake. And I never had the time to cook for myself because I was always traveling, so I couldn't do groceries, otherwise they would go bad. So I was cooking so much and I loved it so much, and I wish I had more time to do that on my like normal schedule, but maybe this is my normal schedule now.
What's your specialty so far?
I love cooking Filipino food. The one thing that,
Like?
oh my God, sinigang apparently is so easy to cook. You literally throw things in the pot. Well, you like have to saute stuff, but you throw everything and then it cooks so quick. I never realized how quick it cooks. And then adobo is so good too. What
Can
else
I
I
add,
love?
Grace and Kelsey? You made pandesal.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So I was craving it so much, and if
Amazing.
you wouldn't believe this, one of the things, so toilet paper was selling out in the States,
Oh my
hand
god.
sanitizers was selling out, and one other thing I couldn't get was all-purpose flour. I couldn't get flour anywhere. So as soon as I was able to buy one, I was like, okay, I'm making pandesal. I'm craving it so much. When I go home, I literally tell my mama, please, like go to the store in the morning and buy pandesal. It's my favorite to have with coffee. And the thing is, like, every time I go home, my mom's like, they don't have it anymore because they went around 7 a.m. and you have to go at like 6 a.m. You have to go so early to get pandesal. So I made it. It was so good, fresh out of the oven. It was so crispy on the outside and so soft on the inside. And I was
Wow.
so happy. And it's so hard to do. You have to like let it rest and then form it into the ball and let it rest again. It takes so long to make pandesal. So much respect.
Wow, congrats. Congrats. What do you miss most doing outside?
Um, I miss going to dinners with friends. I miss being with friends. I don't know, just being with family and friends and human interaction. I love that so much. And one thing that I'm an introvert and I'm a homebody, so I usually love staying at home. And during the first part of quarantine, I just thrived because I was like, this is what I love to do, just being at home and like cocooning. But after like the second month, I was like, okay, I need human interaction. I cannot take this for granted. So yeah.
So how do you keep in touch with your family here?
I FaceTime. Luckily, like two of my sisters, they stay up to like 5 a.m. So I get to talk to them at like ungodly hours. It's like afternoon here and I get to talk to them. Whereas my mom, I usually talk to her at night or in the afternoon because she wakes up really early. So it's like, it depends on who's up. It's usually like at night and in the morning that I get to talk to them.
Okay. So last question na lang. So what projects are you working on now? And considering the new normal that we're all at home and we're all online. So how do you manage to push through with your work?
Well, right now, like work in the States is really put at a stop. And I have been able to do some jobs recently. Things have been open in Santa Barbara, so I was able to go there. Things are slowly going back to normal. And, hopefully, like, we'll be able to, like, the economy will we'll be able to go back to normal real soon. Not just here, but also like in Manila, you know.
That's all. Thank you, Kelsey. We hope to see you soon here in Manila. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grace.
Thank you, Fem.
Thank you. All right, now we have Patricia Lee from Rappler.
Yes, hello. So I just have one question. Since you mentioned body positivity a while ago, and since now you're moving forward into like being an official personality in the Philippines and New York, what are some advocacies that you'll be pushing from here onwards? Like, because I feel like that's really difficult. It's two very different countries, though we're very connected, of course. So, what are some advocacies that you're going to be pushing forward? And if it's any different from advocacies that you've pushed from before?
I feel like I've always been very vocal about, you know, body positivity and things that women should feel normal about because like of naturally occurring things in their body. And I still will be pushing for that. But one of like a few of my advocacies that I've already been partnering with um, organizations is ocean conservation and plastic pollution. So that's one of those are actually my main advocacies that I'm very passionate about. So these are like there's a lot of things that I will continue to talk about, like you know, Black Lives Matter and all these things. But yeah, I'll definitely always talk about that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
That's it, Patricia?
Yes, just one
All right.
question.
Thank you, Patricia. Now we have Nico from pep.ph. Nico,
Hello.
Kelsey.
Hi,
Ayan,
Nico.
from the ano lang din, from the body positivity.
Yeah.
For someone who's good looking or as pretty as you, meron ka pa bang nafe-feel na parang insecurities about yourself, and how do you deal with them?
Yeah. So when I started modeling at 15 in Manila, and I was really insecure because I was shorter than most models. I was really young, and I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't really put together as the other more established models. And I learned very young, and it's helped a lot with my career, with just learning that sometimes if clients don't choose me, it's not because I'm not good enough or I'm not, you know, pretty enough or I'm not tall enough. It's just because I am not the right fit person for the job. It doesn't make me lesser than the other models. They're just looking for a particular type of person, and I just didn't make that fit. So learning that very early on during my career has helped me a lot when I moved to New York, because then I was competing with like even bigger models and even bigger like figures. And so having that just mentality has really helped.
So for my next question, what's your since you always post about your workout, can you tell us about your current workout and diet?
Yeah, so diet wise, I've been baking and eating so much, and I gained a few pounds, but that's okay. I've been working out more recently. I do a lot of Pilates, home workouts. I follow Megan Roop's classes. I go to Alo Yoga, Alo Moves workouts. I do Peloton workouts. So there's a lot of home workouts that I follow, and also some from my memory that I know that I could just do on my own. So yeah, I do love Pilates so much that that's one of my main workouts.
How many hours do you work out in a day? And
I
you do it every day?
I would say 1 hour is the most, and depending on how I feel, I would go from like 10 minutes to an hour. So sometimes I'll just do 10-minute ab workout, 10-minute butt workout. Some days I don't have motivation to do it, you know, and I feel like this pandemic has been very stressful for a lot of people. It's been very stressful for me as well. And there was like a month where I couldn't get myself to work out. I just wanted like comfort food. And so I was cooking and making a lot of home Filipino food. And yeah, so sometimes I don't work out. And recently I've been working out a lot more.
For my last question, what's your top three favorite bags and why?
Bags?
Top three favorite bags.
Is it like handbags or what?
Any kind of bag.
Okay.
Handbag na lang para specific.
Okay. No, I thought I heard bag. Okay. I love my Bottega chain pouch. I got it in Milan before the pandemic hit. That's my number one. And then I also love the Dior saddle, and a classic Louis Vuitton duffel bag. Those are my three.
Your Bottega Veneta bag. Is it the one? Is it the white one you posted on IG?
Yes, the white with the chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Nico. Oh my God, Kelsey, I love your bag. Actually, I like your Fendi also, your Chanel,
Oh,
everything.
thanks. I love the Fendi. I got that at a vintage shop in Tokyo, and I haven't been able to put it down. It's literally my go-to bag.
I love vintage bag. Anyway, so now we have Doreen from CineHub. Hi, Doreen.
Hi, good afternoon, Miss Kelsey. I'm Doreen from CineHub. So, CineHub is an online community for movie fans and pop culture fans. So, we'd just like to ask you some of your favorite movies and movie recommendations. So, first, what are some of your favorite local films from your childhood?
Oh my God. Let's see if I remember anything. I love the Bea Alonzo's movie with John Lloyd. What's the Basha one? What's it called again?
One
One
More
More
Chance.
Chance. Okay,
Was
I
it
love that one. I cried so much. Um, Also, I remember going to the cinema very, very young and watching Anne Curtis's Ang Cute ng Ina Mo. I remember telling her about it, and she was like, "Oh my God, my accent pa daw siya nun." But I literally remember going with my mom to the cinema and watching that movie. So I was so young. That's local films. And then did you ask international as well?
Yeah, international also.
There's so many movies. Uh, I can't think of one. I recently watched Lion again. It's that movie where Dev Patel starred in it and Nicole Kidman. What else? I love all the Harry Potter movies. Uh, blanking out, but yeah, it's a few.
All right. So, and since you're based in New York, what are some Filipino movie recommendations you give to your foreigner friends or fans?
Hmm. I guess like I'm blanking out on the titles, but that movie where it showed the Philippine history. What was that? The one with like Paolo Avellino and
Was it Ang Batang General, Goyo Ang Batang General?
yes, I think that's the one. I think it really depicted the history very well. I thought that was a really well done movie. Um, uh, I'll get back to you.
I think during quarantine,
Other-
you watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I know I've been watching a lot of shows.
So for my last question, what are your movie recommendations, movie or series recommendations you can share to people, to everyone watching this quarantine?
Okay, series, TV shows. I recently just finished oh, what's it called? I literally just watched this. Okay, I'll go back to it. I love Oh my god, I'm blanking out. Okay, I love Dark. It's on Netflix. I love The Crown. Um, I loved. Um, I'm usually Mindhunter. That's the one I was thinking of. Mindhunter, morning show on Apple TV. The Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu. Oh my god, there's so many good ones. RuPaul's Drag Race, 100%, so good. I can keep going. I keep going on and on.
It's alright.
Had so much time to watch during quarantine.
So much, literally all I've been
So much.
doing.
Thank you so much, Miss
Any
Kelsey.
more question, Nico? Oh, Doreen. Oh, this is Doreen.
No more. Thank you, Miss Kelsey.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Doreen. Thank you. All right, now we have Dolly Ann from Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Hello.
Hi.
There you go. Hi, Dolly.
Hi, Pam. Long time no see. How are you?
I'm good. So here's Kelsey.
Hi, Kelsey.
Hi. How are
I'm such a
you?
fan. Sorry, my connection got disconnected earlier. It was fluctuating. So I don't know if they asked you this question already. I'd like to ask you if are you more Filipina or American, and in what ways are you Pinay, and in what ways are you American?
You know, when people ask me like where I'm from or what I am, I always answer Filipino. It just like comes naturally. You know, I was born in the Philippines, I was raised there, and I moved to America for work. So all my life I was immersed in Filipino culture, literally like, and I have never left the country till I was like 18 for work because of
Identify as a
modeling.
Pinay more than an
Yeah,
American.
exactly. So I identify 100% as Filipino. So when people ask me like what I am, I tell them Filipino, and they get confused because I don't look 100% Filipinos. And then I remember I was like, oh wait, yeah, okay, I'm half American. That's when I remember that I have to like remind them I'm
Ways are
not.
more Filipino than American.
Sorry.
Even your ways are more Filipino than American. In what ways are you American?
Um, I guess I've you know developed the culture more that I've lived here the past 3 years, but I am through and through Filipino. Like as soon as I come home to the Philippines, my accent comes back. When I first got to America, when I was 18, I remember my agent reminded me, he was like, you had such a strong accent. And I guess it just, the less I speak in Filipino, the less the accent becomes prominent. But as soon as I land in the Philippines, the accent comes back immediately.
Automatic.
Yeah, automatic. As
Yeah.
in, like, I'm not even like forcing it. It just like as soon as I talk to my siblings, it's still English, but there's an accent.
So that's the only American side of you, the accent that changes. But
Yeah,
all your ways, your ugali, Pinay
yeah.
talaga.
Actually, I now that I remember when I first moved to America, I felt so out of place because they, yes, because I've never been to America before, and then I remember I was in a model apartment, and there's just certain ways they talk, or certain ways certain analogies that I never understood or never
Some of
really.
them bitches, were they bitchy?
No,
Oh.
not bitches, just like certain ways they live was very foreign to me.
Alien to you.
Yeah, very alien that now I've learned and I've gotten better at.
You've adopted.
Yeah, that I've adopted, whereas before when I first moved, I was just like I felt so out of place. So yeah, I definitely am 100% Filipino, and I'm learning
And it's
slowly.
Filipino pride. You make us all proud. For my next question, I'm just curious, right? Dun sa search for the America's Top Next Model, sometimes diba, may mga away, they bitch around. Does that happen backstage of Victoria's Secret fashion show?
No. I feel
Everything
like
smooth sailing,
sometimes
walang
they do that for reality TV.
na.
No, everyone is so nice, and one thing that I can
No
really,
unspoken professional rivalry at all.
not that I know of,
They're
but the
secretly envious of you, or
one amazing thing during backstage at the VS show was the energy. Like everyone was just so
will rub
excited
off on you.
and supportive of everyone, and no one was like putting anyone down. No one, everyone had this energy that was more than 100%, and you could feel it in the room. And I don't know, everyone was just
Contagious.
so nice. Even the biggest girls were so nice to everyone. It was like one big family.
Do you still get starstruck when with the other VS models?
Oh my god, yes. When I first saw Candace, I was like, oh my god, it's Candace. And then I saw Adriana,
Fangirling.
and then I saw Behani, and I was like, oh my god.
So the things that happen in Search for America's Top Next Model doesn't happen at all. That's all drama.
Yeah. I mean, also, one thing I will point out, like sometimes, and I've never experienced this, but I've heard stories of like in jobs where two girls actually hate each other, but they're so professional that they never let the crew know. So it's always like, it's never like cat fight or being on, like everyone is always so professional during work.
For my last question, what will it take for a guy to catch your attention?
How did Connor catch my attention?
Oh, no less. Oh.
um,
Oh.
just being nice. Like I feel like that's one, like a general way to catch everyone's attention is just to be genuine and nice, and people can
A
like, I feel
gentleman.
like I can see through, like I can feel when people are being genuine or not. So
Thank you so much, Kelsey. Take care.
Thank you very much,
ma'am.
Dolly. I hope to see you soon also, Dolly.
Yes, I miss you. Kaya nga eh. Wala,
You're
behave
welcome.
muna tayo ngayon. Bawal pa rumampa.
Social
Next,
distance.
stay
I'll
safe.
see you, Dolly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Kelsey, we have Leo Bukas from Push.
Hi. I think he's muted.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, fam.
Hi.
Kelsey,
Hi, Leo.
what is it that you don't like in acting or in entering show business? Kasi di ba
Why?
parang ayaw mo talagang mag-showbiz, di ba?
Hindi naman po sa ayaw ko. Ano lang, sobrang love ko lang po yung modeling na yun lang talaga yung, as in, dream ko na gusto kong gawin. So, acting was never, it was never in my plan. I was never passionate about it. I've been thinking of like taking some acting classes here in LA. I'm literally in Hollywood. Might as well take classes and do some audition while I live here. So I was thinking about doing that. But again, like it's just a very new. It's a very different industry and I respect very good actors, and it's not easy. And so I feel like if I do enter that industry, I want to be very good at it, and I don't want to just go half baked. And I respect the industry so much that I want to really learn it first.
Pero wala bang mga Hollywood agents dyan na nag-approach sa'yo na, oh, you can be a star, you can be a Hollywood actress, or, di ba? Kasi you're so pretty, di ba?
Wala pa naman po kasi dito sa LA ang daming gustong maging actors, di ba? As in, everywhere you look, lahat parang gusto magta-try silang mag-acting. It's an even more competitive industry here, Hollywood. But no, I haven't been approached yet.
Last question ko, sino ang showbiz crush mo dito sa Pilipinas? Yung actor na Pinoy na crush mo noon pa hanggang ngayon, yung ganon.
Alam mo, growing up, as in, dati pa, alam mo yun, Piolo Pascual. Talaga.
Wow!
Guwapo.
Parang lahat naman siya, di ba?
Oo, sobrang guwapo.
Hindi mo pa siya na-meet personally.
Baka na-encounter ko na siya like in passing, pero hindi ko maalala. Nag-meet na kami.
Well, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leo. I hope to see you soon also. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Kelsey, last but not least, we have Mario from Esquire.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Kelsey. Thanks, Casey. Kelsey, I have a question. What would you tell, this might have been asked earlier, but I was disconnected. So what would you tell people who still find rape jokes, body shaming, and slut shaming culturally acceptable?
It's 2020. Well, I would, I feel like that's really hard. It's really hard to talk to people who aren't open-minded, who are very close-minded about these topics. Like, you can never win an argument with someone who's not willing to open their minds and learn more about a progressive society, so that's a losing battle if you ever go into one. But I just hope and pray that they see that it's not okay to do those things anymore. And sometimes people do those things because they project, like they're not happy, and so they want to put other people down. And yeah. I hope I answered that.
My next thanks Kelsey. My next question is, have you ever been disrespected because of your race or heritage? How did you respond?
I feel like I entered the industry, the fashion industry in New York, when they're very welcoming of Asian Americans. My agent often mentioned to me that if I entered 10 years ago, they wouldn't have been as kind. So luckily, people have been more welcoming to people who look like me. So I'm very fortunate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mario. Thank you. All right, Kelsey, it's my turn to ask you questions. Of course, coming from the same fashion industry, I've known you since you were starting, when you were 15. We used to hang out, and really proud of you. So, of course, as a model before, the farthest I've done is just in Asia.
Mhm.
So, like, for other Filipino models out there, how did you start? How did you pursue your career abroad? Who pushed you, or did you apply yourself? Please
Yeah.
share with us.
Okay, so when I was 17, I got an email from my New York agency. They found me on Instagram and they wanted to fly me to New York to try modeling in New York. I was a bit skeptical because I was like, this email seems very sketchy. I don't know if I could trust this person who wants to fly me across the globe. But I did my proper research, and my dad spoke to my agent Roman, and he verified that he's legit. And so when I was 18, during my second year of college summer, I flew to New York for 4 months, and then I tried out the industry. Um, so that's like a very it's not the conventional way of doing that, because I was lucky I got scouted through Instagram. If Instagram wasn't there, I would not be where I am today. But usually if you're going to do it the traditional way, you would then you can submit photos to a modeling agency in New York, and then they'll look through it, and then if they are interested, they can have you come to the agency. But then that's where it gets tricky, because if you live across the globe, how would you go see them? So then that's like the financial part of it becomes very hard, because you would then have to pay for your own flight ticket, like everything you have to pay for yourself. And it's not even guaranteed that you'll get signed. So that's like the more traditional way of doing it. It's such a hard industry, because you don't even know if like a New York agency will even want to sign you, and then you spend all this money to go to New York in the hopes of even getting representation. And yeah, you never know.
I gave a lot of stuff here, of course, your life here in the Philippines, but it's all worth it. Again, from me, I'm so proud of you. So now we want to hear from you, your message to your followers, your fans, and of course, to your new Viva family, maybe in Tagalog.
Naman, kaya ko naman doing. It's funny, people forget that I can speak Filipino.
And Filipino.
So yeah, sana I get to like English.
Okay. Whatever you feel comfortable.
Some words are harder to say in Tagalog. I hope I get to go home to the Philippines soon, and sana ma-meet ko kayong lahat. And signing with Viva, hopefully I get to spend more time in the Philippines. And that's one thing that I really wanted to change for 2020. I told myself that I want to go home more. I get homesick so much, and I feel like this is a good way to go home more.
Well, there you have it. Thank you very much, Kelsey, for your time. That concludes our conference. Also to the press to join us today, thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Please don't forget to support Kelsey in her upcoming projects with Viva. You can always check Viva sites here in the Philippines. Viva Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Viva Artist Agency and facebook.com/Viva Films. Of course, at Viva Artist Twitter and at Viva Films on Instagram. Oh, and at Viva Artist Agency Instagram and at Viva Films Instagram for more exclusive updates from your favorite Viva stars. And of course, our newest angel, Kelsey Merritt. We're really proud of you and excited to see you again soon.
Thanks, ma'am. Love you.
Love you. Thank you. Stay safe.
Woo.